Good morning and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, La Crescenta, where it's our dream to help you build and manifest your dreams. This morning, we are so blessed to have our very own Cecillia Celis as our pianist and our soloist, and she's going to create music as she plays. So sit back and enjoy.
Good morning. I am Cecillia, and this music is going to be dedicated to you and to all the frontliners.
Good God morning, everybody. I'm so thankful that you're here. My name is Laney Clevenger-White. I'm the practitioner on the platform today, and I'm just thankful that you're here with us. To start our meditation time, I'd like to share these words with you as seeds of thought. Art is standing with one hand extended into the universe and one hand extended into the world, and letting ourselves be a conduit for passing energy. Albert Einstein said that. And Ernest Holmes says, law knows how to make things out of ideas. So I invite you now just to take a breath And imagine that you are reaching into divine energy, the creative source of all that there is. And as you release your breath, feel that energy coming down through you. Breathe in again, reaching into the universe, thinking of an intention. And as you release your breath, bring your intention into yourself. Stay with your breath and your intention, feeling yourself being a conduit of creative energy. You have touched the power of creation with your thought. What do you desire? Your thoughts and words have power, and your words create your world. With each breath in and out, you, as a conduit of creative energy, what do you want to create in your world? Breathe in and breathe out. As you think of your intention. And I'd like to share these words with you, author unknown, for you to ponder and to breathe into your energy field as you think on your intention, using these words as the foundation for your power. Take a breath. It is through our inner thought that we contact God, the divine. Holy, holy, holy. Inner presence, great and mighty. Inner light that shines divinely. Inner life that lives completely. Inner joy that smiles serenely. Inner peace that flows so deeply. Inner calm, untroubled, happy. Inner love that gives so freely. Inner truth that never fails me. Inner power that holds securely. Inner eye that sees so clearly. Inner ear that hears always. Inner voice that speaks supremely. Inner good that binds me to thee. Holy, 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 Lord God within me. And take in a nice breath and release it. Just absorb those feelings of that inner self, that inner presence. And let us collectively bring into this world the power of good, the power of creativity, the power of peace, the power of love, the power of joy, the power of good health, and the power of abundance and prosperity. Just imagine you as a conduit, bringing in and sharing these divine qualities with others through your thoughts and your words. We are one together. And now, with your breath, allow yourself to be present in this time and space as a conduit of powerful, loving, peaceful energy as we say, and so it is. Amen.
Hello, I'm Susan Zollinger. I'm a practitioner in training here at Center for Spiritual Living La Crescenta. And now is the time to join in song and sing, And So It Is. Please join me. God is all there is. I am one with the Spirit. I realize the truth, and I speak it. I am thankful for it all. I release it, I let it go, and so it is, and so it is. I know it is, and I receive as I believe. Amen. Amen.
And now it's time for our Science of Mind reading on page 481, Abiding in the One, John 15:7. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. It is impossible for humanity to literally abide in the man Jesus, so we must look for a figurative meaning in these words. He is speaking of the spirit of his teachings, and the whole spirit of his teachings is to the effect that man is an individualized center of God consciousness. The spirit of man is the spirit of God, for God is one. When we abide in the one, we cannot ask amiss, but must ask for that which is right and good. Consequently, our prayers to the one will be answered. But let us remember that prayer is answered according to law, and this law is one of liberty and never one of license. True liberty comes only through true harmony. True harmony only through true unity. And true unity can come only through the conscious realization that we are one with God or good. Jesus implies a power which can and will work for those who harmonize with it and believe in it. But we must first abide in the Spirit of truth. And what is the Spirit of truth other than that we live in conscious unity with good and do no harm to no one? Goodness is natural, while evil is abnormal. To trust in the law of good is to constantly believe that we are surrounded by a power which can and will cast all fear from our minds, free us from all bondage, and set us safe and satisfied in a new order of living. And so it is.
Well, our lesson today is, where do you live? Our founder, Ernest Holmes, suggested that we live in conscious unity with spirit. And we also know that Ernest Holmes studied everything. He studied biology, he studied physics, he studied all the sciences, he studied the philosophies. And I found an individual, Henry Bergson, who lived from 1859 to 1941, that I'm sure Ernest Holmes must have read some of his work. His understanding of the nature of consciousness, and in particular, its relationship to the real world, the physical world, remains strikingly relevant to numerous contemporary fields. These range from quantum physics and process thought to philosophy of mind, depth psychology, and transpersonal theory, and religious studies. Bergson's notion of consciousness, and this is an important part, as a ceasingly dynamic, inherently temporal substance of reality, and it provides a vision for individual experience of life. What does it mean to live consciously, authentically, and attuned to our inner depths? The question, first of all, to ask yourself is, are you happy? Are you happy? If you're not, there's many, many different things you can do. It's not something sometimes you can change overnight. Living consciously is a lifestyle, a skill, and an art. It's not something you do just once, but a habit that you can form for the rest of your life. But it is deceptively simple. Be conscious and think about everything you do. Make conscious choices rather than doing things without thinking. That's all. I'm going to repeat that. It's simple. Be conscious and think about everything you do. Make conscious choices rather than doing things without thinking. That's all. It sounds simple, but it's amazing how few actually do this, and it's amazing how easy it is. It's easier to live a life on autopilot. There was a saying floating around in religious science. There's a power for good in the universe. And then is said, and if you don't use it, it uses you. That's what we call autopilot. And just do what we always do, because that's what we're used to doing, and it's easier. It's easier that way, even if our lives are difficult. It's not easy to change our lives, to break out of our routines, to begin to live the lives we want. That's the choice. Your power to choose is your greatest power. It takes willful effort, energy, and constant vigilance to think about our choices, all of them. Here are some key tips that have worked for me. Make reflecting on your life a regular routine. I do this constantly. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm talking to myself and I'm talking to God at the same time. Whether you keep a journal or make reflecting on your part of your evening routine or have a weekly session where you review your life, I don't like to make it gruesome, and it can be. I remember when I was in school ministry, we had one professor who made us keep a journal of everything we did from the time we got up in the morning till we went to bed at night, including what we ate. Orange juice, oatmeal, toast. Who cares? I got so bored with that it took me many years to get back to journaling. So you journal. When you journal, and to make it a joy, you journal your innermost thoughts, your innermost thoughts of the day. What happened today that I just loved, that I really, really enjoyed? And what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently? I find myself, I'll set a schedule and I'll say, I want to do this today. I want to get this done today. Sometimes it doesn't happen until tomorrow. So what we do is we pay attention to how we schedule our time, how we react to the things that we're doing, and they could be simple things, like taking your car to the car wash or washing dishes. For those who have a dishwasher, I don't happen to, so I wash dishes. And then we review our relationships. The people we love are among the most important things in our lives, if not the only important thing. You need to think about your relationships. Do you spend enough time with them? Do you show your appreciation? Is there a way you can improve your relationships? Do you need to forgive or apologize about anything? Are there barriers that can be removed? Communication that can be improved? Also review your relationship with others, such as people you work with if you are employed. I can only imagine what it must be like to be estranged from people for any reason. Because the first law of the universe, my friends, is love. Love. And along with that, unconditional love, no matter what the other person has done. And so, quoting the Course in Miracles, if you're willing to forgive, the Holy Spirit will take you the rest of the way. It will take you the rest of the way. And then one thing to consider is your impact on the world. Are you doing something for the good of humankind? I love Dignity Health has commercials, people who make a difference. And one of them is a man who teaches ballet to inner city children. And one little girl who they pan on, I love this commercial, she's got a tear coming down her cheek and she says, I can be me. I can be me. And she's taking the ballet class and enjoying it because that's what's in her heart to do. So what's in your heart to do for humanity? So much is happening right now with this virus thing going on. People are helping gather food. They're helping people get masks. All kinds of things are happening. And you know, what I'd like to see happen is when we come out of this shelter in place, that we continue doing for one another. We continue caring for one another. We can do it. It doesn't just stop when the shelter in place is lifted. Your life has an impact, whether you think about it or not. Being conscious of how your decisions affect others is important. The highest and best for all concerned. And then, you know, this is kind of interesting. These are the things, tips I told you that have worked for me. Consider the real costs of things in your life. I was having a conversation with a friend and I said, you know, when we were younger, it was about getting things. Not just getting things, but getting quality things. Quality of whatever it is we bought. If it was jewelry, if it was a car, we wanted to acquire. Well, I have so many things, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. So my life is filled with stuff. And beyond that, just the cost of buying the stuff. This stuff takes the toll on us. And I'm looking at my stuff, and I'm thinking, it's time to unload some of it. And some of it's very valuable. My kids don't want it. Many people don't want it. I have all the silver and the china and the crystal and all those kinds of things. Nobody seems to want that kind of thing anymore. And it takes up space in our life, and it's a visual stress. Later, we'll have to get rid of it, sort through all of it, take time to throw it away, or recycle it or donate it. If having stuff is not worth all of that, then let go of it. Let go of it. Whatever seems to be burdening you, the things that I have in my house are things that I have to dust. And they're dust catchers. So I'm thinking about letting those things go and living a little simpler. So, and I spoke to you earlier about how you spend your time. Until we do a time audit and keep a log of our day, now, not forever, just 1 or 2 days to see, am I using time that I could be doing something that I really love to do? What might that be? Walking out in nature. Right now, people are encouraging others to get out, breathe, walk, enjoy the sunshine. And we do need the fresh air. We do need it for our bodies and our minds and our spirits. If we audit our time, it can be very surprising. If we know how we're spending our time now, we can make conscious decisions on how to spend our time in ways that are life-enhancing. Right now. Explore who you really are. Take some time to think about what kind of person you are. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? And I'm going to stop there for a second and tell you, there's a quote somewhere, wouldn't it be nice to be for something and against nothing? So look at your likes and discard your dislikes, and just don't even think about it. Whether you live your life according to those values, your values that are you, that you love, things that you are interested in, how you treat people, how you treat yourself. You're living in consciousness. You're living in unity with spirit. When you give yourself permission to dream as big as you want, to dream as big as you want. When you have a vision for your own life and are taking steps toward it, no matter how small the steps are or how long it might take you to reach the vision, you are already successful. I remember being in California during World War II when my dad was overseas. And I loved California. I just loved it. I loved the smell of fresh cut grass. I loved living with my grandparents. And then when my dad came back from the war, we went back to Nebraska where we were from. And I spent the next 15 years wanting to be here in California. It took me 15 years. I graduated from high school one day and came out the next, where I've been ever since. So my heart was yearning all of this time for California. We were fortunate to have visitors. My aunts and uncles came and my grandparents came. But my vision for my life was to be in California. Now, when I got here, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was fortunate in high school to have taken typing. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but I'm a really good typist. And I've helped a lot of people out typing things for them. My first job was at Dun and Bradstreet at 6th and Main in Los Angeles. I'm living with my grandparents, and my grandmother's very fussy about how I'm going to get to work. I was fortunate to take a bus from Sunland Park right down to 6th and Main. The bus rolled right under the building where I was working. And it was great. It was a really good job. And it was almost like being in school, because every few minutes they would pull our work out and grade it like we were in school. So it was a good job for me. And I went from there to other things, of course. But as a young teenager, I did not have a vision for my life. And it doesn't matter what time or when in your life you start having a vision, or actually the vision's there, my friends. It exists in your heart. And what you do is you access that vision, and then you meditate. And you say, Father, Mother, God, how can I move forward and step into that vision? Step into that vision. We play at it. We visualize ourselves being in that place and space where we want to be. That's what I was doing that whole 15 years that I was in Nebraska. I was seeing myself in California. When I saw a picture of an orange tree with oranges, I just could get that feeling that that's where I want to be. Another way to be really authentic is to use your vocal cords and speak when it's appropriate. Speak your mind. Stick up for people. Stick up for cultures. Don't allow anyone to speak negatively about another person or about another culture. Be that person. Be that person who you are. Remember, the first law of the universe is love. And so when we speak lovingly, and one way to do it is this, I learned it from one of my camp directors. When I would have teenagers who would act out, he would say, I love you, and this is what you need to do to correct what you've done. And we can do that. So I love you, and. So back to the main question. Am I happy? If I'm happy, I am living, I am walking with spirit in my life. And if that's not working for you, your homework this week is asking yourself, am I happy? If I'm not, what do I need to do to change that? And so ends our lesson.
Please join me in singing our offertory, I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so thankful, I am so blessed.
And it's time now for our offertory affirmation. It'll be up on the screen, so please read with me, with meaning. Higher wisdom expresses itself daily in all aspects of my life. I am worthy to receive the unlimited offerings of the universe. And so it is.
Please join with me in the benediction. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is happening through my mind,
It is happening through my mind,
my body,
and
every aspect of my life.
every aspect of my life.
I think it.
I think it.
I know it.
I know it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I'm never alone,
I am never alone.
for God is right where I am.
For God is right where I am.
And so it is.
And so it is.